Hey everybody.
Hi everyone.
I'm Garrett.
And I'm Carolyn.
And we're a diary of a family.
We are living life intentionally and helping you do the same.
Welcome to another live stream. Hello
Wanderlost.
Wanderlost. Welcome.
A lot of you pop on right away now. It's so exciting. Woo! We used to sit here for a good couple of minutes before we started having people join us.
Well, hopefully this event thing will work out for us.
We are attempting the, what did you call it?
We're attempting to do a event.
An event on
YouTube. It's a little bit different than, it allows us to kind of preview what is going on. So we are testing it out. Let us know what you think. Okay.
So we were actually going to have somebody on to interview tonight, but that hasn't happened. And we have to be flexible when others are unable to make it. So
yep.
Hi X marks the spot. Miss you guys so much. Garrett tells me that we might be seeing you here soon. I'm super excited.
That's going to be awesome. Maybe we'll have to do another interview with you guys.
Look at this. My hair is sticking up. I got my hair cut today.
Looks
it
great.
Looks nice. Sorry, I'm looking at Emma off screen. You need to go to bed. Good night.
For you guys that are just joining us, what are your plans for Labor Day?
Labor Day.
We have it off, but we also, with Carolyn's work schedule, get long weekends off all the time too. So
yeah, I considered putting into work tomorrow, but it's like smack dab in the middle of my days off. So
she needs her rest.
I'm not gonna do that.
And she's pulled a couple overtime shifts and worked like 5 days in a row and things like that. So having a nice stretch of days off is okay with me.
It's the first time I worked overtime while doing travel nursing, and I was like shocked when I saw my paycheck, because when I worked 40 hours, basically the extra 8.25 hours that I worked overtime was more than half of my take-home pay for 40 hours. I was like, at least for this contract. It wouldn't have happened on my last contract. I didn't get much overtime.
X marks the spot is staying home. That's good. Wanderlost says Ron is off too, so we are going to grill and hang out here at the house.
Nice. Love the grilling.
Yes.
It's been super hot here, so we didn't even offer to grill today. At 7, it was still 91 outside, and I'm just like, no.
Like, where's this? The summer's supposed to be ending, but it doesn't appear that way on our weather app.
No.
It's like 90, 96, 94, 91. Oh, look, it's a cool day at 90. Howdy. Sorry, we were grilling.
Aww.
Well, you know where we're at. You can always bring some of your meat up here. For those of you that don't know, Skip to LaRue, they own their own butcher shop.
Yes.
In Sulphur Springs, Texas. And
if you're there, check them out.
I think even the most expensive steak we've had didn't compare to what we had from Jason and his shop.
Yep. Over charcoal briquette.
Yes, over charcoal briquette on a campfire. It was amazing.
Yes, road trip it. Bring it on up.
We're here till the end of September. So we are... well...
I'll be here still.
That's we'll get into scheduling later.
What's cool about this lifestyle is that we can be flexible, especially with having a follow vehicle, so having that extra vehicle.
Yeah.
So we'll get into our plans for the end of the contract, but for September we're sticking it close to home here in Amarillo, so that Garrett has locations that he can take the kids and do homework at, and I'm not having to commute a whole lot.
Yeah. It is very nice to be 7 minutes away from Walmart and 13 minutes away from church.
Yeah, instead of
45 minutes to an hour away from anything. Don't get me wrong. We did like the time, and we're very appreciative of the help we got out in Panhandle. It was very far away.
It was far. But I've experienced it now, because I think my longest commute in Louisiana was 35 minutes, maybe just under 40 minutes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've done the hour commute now and didn't like it all that much, but it was okay.
I think for short stints, like our time up at Borger, it probably was okay, but you only knew that you had like 2 or 3 days to do that.
Yeah, so we haven't told them. We took a couple of days and went to another small town, Borger, Texas,
Yep.
in the Panhandle.
It was half an hour away from
Half an hour away from
Panhandle.
But it made my commute down to Amarillo into 57 minutes. So basically an hour. It was a really cool drive though, and I always drove like the route out past the quarries and
Alabase Flint Quarry.
Yeah, and through Fitch. So I saw a lot of rolling countryside, and there was once that we had a big thunderstorm coming in, so I was watching the flashes as I was driving. So
We have visited the RV History Museum in Amarillo.
just Garrett and I, we did a quick trip in there, got
Yep.
some footage. It's really cool. It's really
You were
cool.
not in the happiest of moods at
I
that
was
point.
hot and tired and didn't feel good.
We were trying to figure out if there was any kind of way that we could register our vehicles in Amarillo.
And it wasn't.
And every single government employee was like, "Oh, what do you mean? You're like, if you're here, you register here." I'm like, "You don't understand.
We don't live here.
You don't live here." They go, "No, you just register where you're living." I'm like, "Yeah."
So we had to go back to Athens, Texas to
Yep.
get registered in Henderson County.
But we
That's
were
another
at
story.
Yeah.
That's going to come up here, right?
It'll come out soon. I think we're going to put that as Wednesday's video, is the process that we went through to become Texas residents.
Go Texas. We're Texans.
I don't know, solidarity, whatever that means.
I don't know. I don't feel like I've changed. I'm still a Washingtonian at heart.
I was born in
grew there.
California, grew up in Washington. I'm living in Texas.
Anybody
I'm an
else
American.
done this where you grew up in another state and then when you hit the road you changed your residency to a different state? And how did that feel? Did you feel like you were residents there? I don't know.
Memphis, Texas has a free city park for RV camping. Yeah, Borger, the place we were at had a city park. It's Hargis.
He'll remember it.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's
Huber Park.
Huber Park, is that what
Huber
it's called?
Park, Huber Park in Borger, Texas had a free. You could stay 3 days for free.
The park it was attached to is pretty big. Had a splash
Splash pad.
park. Had a little zoo with waterfowl in it and other
Yep.
birds. It was nice, and there weren't very many rigs. And because they only stay for 3 days, you don't get derelict rigs.
Yep.
The ones that you're like, can they even
Can they
move
even
that
move?
thing?
Yeah, these are ones that like, yeah, you have to be out of here in 72 hours.
Yeah. And
But we didn't get hassled by anybody
No.
while we were there. We
No.
just filled out the paperwork, put it in, and left on Sunday. And
it's a good 3 days.
Yeah.
I didn't spend any of it there. I spent the entire time at work or sleeping.
Yeah. So Skip to LaRue said we are just a few steaks away from being fully converted. We will have you saying y'all
soon.
Honestly, it's becoming more and more a part of normal vocabulary for
Y'all.
both of us. Y'all.
At work sometimes it's, yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like I'm slipping into a Texan accent, but
It's not the same as like North Carolina. Like North Carolina accent or even Louisiana had a pretty distinct accent. It was pretty interesting.
yeah, I don't think I could even copy it. So, end of summer. What's everybody gonna do this fall?
We are getting back into the routine of schoolwork, and the nice thing for us is our kids are fairly young, so the math and the
spelling,
the
reading,
spelling and
etc.
all that kind of stuff hasn't been too difficult for us.
Yeah. I got some help from Garrett's mom when she was here, just going through the mess that was my homeschool curriculum and weeding out what I didn't want, and some of it she took back with her, and some of it just went right into the garbage can.
Yeah.
And Garrett, you got the math books printed for us. So we have e-math books that we've been printing for free at the library in Washington, but we paid for a service to print them and bind them this year. So that's pretty cool. So I have a stack of books about that tall for Emma, and we don't ever push to get everything completed. We'll let her go as fast or as slow as she needs to go in the curriculum. And she's got a couple of books to go
Our
on.
National Adventures just joined us.
Hi, our National Adventure. We're talking about end of summer. We're going into fall time and what everyone's doing.
For fall and for Labor Day.
Yes.
So get typing.
I am going to sit down either today or tomorrow and get our weekly planner sort of thing created. Something very, very simple that has one for Timmy, one for Emma, that has the curriculum, so math, reading, spelling, history, whatever for Emma.
Yep.
Add in some piano there. How many times a week I want her to be working in those subjects. I used to, for her first year or so, I actually wrote out how many pages she needed to do from this page to that page, and it just got really, really difficult as Garrett took over homeschooling. So I just say, hey, do some in this book and check the box.
Yep.
And so if she wants to do 3 to 5 pages of math, she can. If she just gets through one page and he says, I'm calling it quits, then that's okay too. At least they touched on that subject that day. So I'm going to be working on that little bit of a plan, have the kids' input this year, I think, at least have Emma sit down and talk to me about what she wants to accomplish, because she is 8.5, but she's kind of somewhere in between 3rd grade and 4th grade.
Yeah.
So I want her to be more involved in what she wants to do. So
Okay.
So Tuesday, I think we're going to hit it hard. So I'm not working, so I'll be able to help Garrett kind of get into that routine, and we'll have our first whole week of school, and we'll see how it goes.
Well, and with this, it'll also give me more time to be able to work on our videos and stuff for this week. So I'm not going to feel like I'm spending 4 hours the day of trying to get something recorded.
Yeah, I should be able to do most of it with them on the first day. Wanderlust.
X marks the spot said, Natasha says she thinks we can get travel assignments without current hospital jobs.
I love Tasha. Don't you guys just absolutely love her?
She's amazing. We should probably have her on at some point as an interview.
Oh my gosh, that would be so cool.
So Natasha is...
Tasha is my my recruiter with Atlas. I really haven't talked much about Atlas as a company yet because we'd only had one job with them. Now we've had 2. Tasha is always on point when I need her.
Yes.
So I am really praying, crossing my fingers, that you guys can find at least a job to start off with. If not both of you have a job. That would be awesome and fantastic. And then once you have that first job, you've got your experience, and it's no problem from then on.
It's like you're getting your first nursing job. They won't hire you unless you have experience, but you can't get experience unless
you have a job.
You have a job. It's
right. Let's see. Wanderlust says we are getting back into school. Boys are in 10th and 7th grade. Oh my gosh.
Oh my. It's going by so fast, isn't it?
I'm excited about the subjects they picked and ready to get going. Oh, man.
That was Amanda, by the way.
Awesome. Thank you, Amanda, for putting that in. I can't even imagine 10th and 7th grade.
But I think if we
it just
if we
seemed
are
like
learning
the other
with
day that I was in 10th, 11th, 12th grade.
I know.
Our National Adventure said, you're in the Theodore Roosevelt National Park. Oh, I want to go so bad. Looking out over the Badlands after dinner as sun is setting. I want to go when GeoAstro RV are there.
Yeah,
so that we can do, the Najedlos do a free, what do they call it? Expose, a free...
astronomy class, like a free...
It's not a class, it's more of an they're just
Experience.
a demonstration or something.
Yeah.
So you can either do a day one or a night one and look through their telescopes and see all kinds of cool things that I don't know anything about. Yeah. That was not really something I learned.
So Missouri travelers are spending the week at Bennett Springs State Park, just outside of Lebanon, Missouri.
Missouri travelers.
Nice.
Are they new? Are you
yes.
new? Brand new?
They're new.
I don't think I've ever shouted you guys out.
Are we on that?
I don't think they're on my list. So
it's
here
probably
we
just
go.
their settings.
Shout out to Missouri Travelers, probably one of our new ones from this week. Oh my gosh, I'm super excited to do shout outs at the end of the show. You guys have to stay.
Nuts.
It's absolutely nuts. So shout out to the Missouri Travelers.
RV Nomads 365 are a new one.
Yes, and again, I don't think they're on my list. But we
are in Yosemite Lakes today. Super nice weather. Way too crowded. Yosemite Lakes. Is that in the Yosemite Valley, or is that somewhere near Yosemite, or is it somewhere else completely different?
Have you been to Yosemite?
Yes.
I have not.
I was in Yosemite when I was, I want to say 14 or 15, something like that.
There's so much that I haven't seen, you guys. I am so excited. Yosemite is one of those that I'm just like, oh, we have to go, we have to do it. At some point, we will.
Yeah.
Tasha will find us a job, and we will go.
X Marks the Spot asked our National Adventure if they got to see the STAR program with the Najedlos.
Yes. I don't know if they're there right now. I think that they were somewhere else. But they really like Theodore Roosevelt National Park.
Yes.
So any number of summer months, they're there.
I'm sure a lot of those areas, because of the lack of population in cities, probably makes it perfect for stargazing out there.
Yeah.
Our National Venture said that they're using Abeka. Is a program we're starting with Kiara this year.
So I have some experience as a student using Abeka. It might have changed, but my understanding is that they really are they're pretty hardcore. So like if you think, oh, third grade, it's probably more like fourth grade. So you have to kind of figure out where your student is and get the curriculum that is best for them.
Yeah.
That their level. So if a book says, oh, this is for third grade, it's okay if your child is third grade and it's too much for them. That was my experience growing up. My mom used a lot of Abeka curriculum. So good luck with that. And also, if a curriculum that you're using is not working, don't force your child to continue. Find something else that they would connect with. So, and again, your mom reminded me that she never made you guys finish curriculum, like finish books out.
We had, the only books that we had to finish was a very in-depth history series of America. From Sea to Shining Sea.
I remember
Sea.
that curriculum as well. Is that Abeka?
No, I don't think
it's another.
So.
I thought it was
and then what is it? Saxon math. We've got at least had to go up to Algebra 1.
Well, what she was saying is that, towards the end of the year, in June-ish, if the kid hadn't gotten off through the curriculum, don't feel bad about that.
Yeah.
We've kind of sort of made Emma finish things. This last year, hitting the road in March was kind of funky, so
it threw our schedule off quite a bit for the summer.
It did. So we're kind of backtracking a little bit and restarting a little bit of the third grade.
But our kids are young enough. It's really they're not going to notice it really that
not.
much.
They're not.
Let's see here.
Oh my goodness, so many comments, you guys. Oh my goodness.
The astronomy program looks like our national is here this weekend with escapers.
The astronomy program. Check it out. You guys have to do it. You have to do it. I'm so excited to do that.
They also said we have fingers crossed for tonight. We didn't see anything last night. The kids saw the planets last night.
Awesome. Yosemite Lake is about 60 miles from the national park, says RV Nomads 365.
Nice.
So that's good. Awesome. Wanderlost says, we've been homeschooling since our oldest was 4. He'll be turning 16 next year.
Whoa.
So it's been a while.
That's awesome. Well, both of us were homeschooled.
Yes.
From
beginning to end.
Beginning to end.
Yeah.
So we both, besides a few college courses and some other
Right. My
random
senior
schooling
year,
stuff.
my mom didn't do anything with me. I went to community college and picked up a lab science and a foreign language and a writing class.
Yeah.
Just some things that I felt like, a typing, so I could get my typing speed up.
So she doesn't actually have her GED?
I don't. I didn't
But she
ever
has
graduate.
a bachelor's, so.
I didn't ever graduate from high school. I went right to community college, and I had some credits, and then I went to Bible college, and they didn't ask for a GED or anything.
No.
And it was not a accredited program. So I did 2 years there, and then I went back to community college, finished up my AA, transferred to a bachelor program, and I have a higher level degree than him, but he graduated high school and I didn't.
Some places that would be an issue, but then you're like, wait, I have a bachelor's in science. Oh, okay.
So the lady who cut my hair today was homeschooled. So we had something in common. Are you playing with our background?
Well, the sun is not directly in our face now, and it'd be nice to show something other than white,
off-white
stuff.
blinds.
Yeah.
Our blinds are down constantly during the day for
to keep the heat out. Yeah.
And then at night we lift them up, so it's kind of backwards.
So, Nomad 365 also said it takes about 2 hours to get to I'm assuming that 2 hours to get to the national park from the Yosemite Lake.
But you said it's really busy there.
It's really busy, so.
Kind of.
But it's probably this weekend is a big RVing weekend.
Yeah, we probably, if we tried to go to Palo Duro Canyon, we probably wouldn't have been able to get in. And we had discussed going and taking the trailer to Palo Duro Canyon, and I think we've decided not to. That we'll just go and spend the day.
Well, the weird thing about the park is, you pay $24 for a site that just has electricity. There's no water, no nothing else, just electricity, which is fine.
Yeah.
I mean, we can run our ACs and all that, and we
24,
have.
that's fine.
Yeah. But they want a per day entry fee for every person over 14. So it's $8 per person per day added on to the group that you were with.
And it's not like, I enter the park and I stay for the 3 days, so I only pay it one time.
So that's another $16
day.
per day. Why don't you just raise the price of the campsite and not do
It's basically $40 a night for just power.
Yeah, for just power.
And I'm like, no.
It's really cool down there. It is amazing.
It's absolutely gorgeous. I don't know if maybe that fee is waived if you have the state.
If you have the state pass, it is waived,
but
and
it's
you can
like
have
$90.
a guest. But it's $70.
It's $70 for a year pass, and we're not gonna stay in Texas much longer. If we were gonna stay in Texas and do a lot of Texas, then it would make sense for us to buy that pass. But it doesn't at this point. It doesn't make sense. Like, really, $40 a night. No.
Yeah.
No. So we're gonna spend the $16. Just go in for one day.
And we're so close anyways. It's so easy to just go in the morning and
like
come back in the evening.
Yeah, 25 minutes or so from here.
For $16 to go spend the day there.
Yeah.
Well, X marks the spot says that's why we get the annual pass.
Right, but you've lived in Texas and you're going to all of the parks.
You've been to all of them. We're trying to justify paying $70 for a pass just so we have to skip $32 in fees.
Yeah, it wouldn't be cost effective unless we knew we were going to use it some more, like our 1,000 Trails membership.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Our National Adventure says, "Sir, we are sort of adjusting. Thanks for this topic. You know what? You're going to get through it.
Yes.
It's always hardest the first
year. You feel like
you're like,
just, I don't
what
even
am
know
I supposed to be
doing?
But like a month or two into it, you're going to be like, oh, this is easy, and you've been teaching her along the way.
Yeah.
Regardless of whether you were using curriculum or not. So Kiara is going to do absolutely fantastic. I'm sure of it.
So Wanderlost said 1 year leads into the next, and it doesn't seem like you go from nothing to teaching high school. It's just a little more advanced each year.
Yeah.
So really and truly, I mean, if you're kind of just remembering stuff that you've already learned as you're growing and as you're working with the kids, you're not going to be like, I have no idea how to do this concept, because you're going to be learning the concepts as the kids are learning.
Yeah.
And then you'd be like, oh yes, I remember.
That's why when I've heard parents say, oh, I really want to start homeschooling, but I'm really nervous. And I'm like, how old is your child? You know, what grade are they? Oh, they're in 5th, they're in 6th. And I'm like, okay, you can do this, but it's going to be difficult, a lot more difficult than if you had started at kindergarten and worked your way up, because like we were saying, it's a gradual increase in their ability.
Yeah.
Whereas if you pull a child out halfway through or partway through, you have to like learn how to homeschool and at a higher level altogether.
Yeah.
And that's when I suggest, if people are asking me about homeschooling and they have an older child, I always say, well, look in your state and what they have online, so that you have support at least for the first year, and then if you want to go off and do your own thing after that, then that's fine. But if you have a teaching degree, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
You know what you're supposed to be doing. But for those who don't have teaching degrees and have older children, there are like online programs that you can do through your state. They have everything laid out, and they have a teacher that checks up on them and makes sure they're doing what they need to do and can support you in that process.
Hey, Jurgen's Journeys, welcome.
Oh,
Thank
yes,
you for
they're one of our
joining.
new ones.
One of our new ones.
Shout out to Jurgen's Journeys.
You just stopped by to wish us a great weekend.
Well, thank you, and you have a great weekend as well.
Where are you at the moment?
Yes, we'd like to know before
We're
jump
trying
in.
to figure out where everyone's at the moment. We have some people all over, from East Coast to West Coast. It's pretty cool.
I'm sorry, I'm reading RV Nomad 365 says X marks. Yes, it is so pretty. Cannot wait for the holidays to be done.
Yeah.
It was super quiet until Friday. X marks spot was talking about their park. Oh, Thousand Trails Park. Yeah, I always forget the acronyms. Let's see, where are we at our points? We did make bullet points, guys, so we wouldn't get off the beaten track.
So we're still kind of...
Yeah, we're still at the first two.
Yeah, we're still in the first two of our points. So Jurgen's Journey's in North Carolina.
Very cool.
Nice. My sister lives in North Carolina, about an hour west of Mooresville.
At some point, I will get there to visit.
Yes.
He's been there.
Our plan is to go north, the northern states, and possibly down through the East Coast on
Next year.
Next year.
2020.
2012.
It'll be a good year.
Hello, Blue Wave. Welcome,
Blue Wave
welcome.
Odyssey is a new one as well.
Yep.
You guys will want to hang on here to find out what we're doing tomorrow.
So Wanderlost is they are in South Dakota. We live here now in the Air Force.
Yes.
We did just get notice that we will probably be moving next year.
Oh, no.
No idea where yet.
Oh, is that like nerve-wracking? Is that just like, you're going to be gone, you're going to be sent somewhere, and we're not going to tell you?
I don't know how those work for you guys, but do you get like a notice just, hey, you're leaving, or do you get like, you're leaving, here's where you're going? Or do you just say, by the way? Or is it just something that you know that your time and a certain station is up, so you're moving on? I don't know. I never did I never served in the military, so all the government work I did had nothing to do with. They couldn't just say, hey, by the way, next year you're moving somewhere else.
Right.
So.
Isn't it cold up in South Dakota, even in the summertime?
I don't think. I mean, Montana is up there, and it's summer weather. It's probably like the Northwest.
Our national adventure. I think you guys are somewhere in that vicinity, North or South Dakota. Our national adventure says we have to head out. Sun is setting, and we are headed to see the buffalo. Aww. But I'm glad we got to say hello. We love that you got to say hello. Much love, and I'm going to catch the replay. Okay. Happy Labor Day, friends. Awesome.
Our national adventure messaged me. I figured out live stream events.
Yes.
So I'll tell you guys how to do it.
He can share. He finally figured it out.
Well, I YouTubed it.
YouTube is the best learning source, right?
Everyone's saying goodbye.
Bye. Bye, our national adventure.
Blue Wave Odyssey is an Army vet.
Whoop,
nice.
Whoop. Thank you very much for your service.
Okay, before I leave.
It's cold.
It is cold.
I saw that. Saw your Facebook post. That's why I sent it out there.
Wow.
So we'll just have to have layers of clothing when we hit the road next year.
I'll be fine.
Our national adventure is in North Dakota right now. So South Dakota is probably a little bit warmer than North. Anyway, So we talked about Wednesday's video. It's going to be on our process of getting Texas residency. For those of you who are going to hit the road and decide to change to Texas for law purposes.
It may help you.
Here's one of the reasons why we changed, and it was because of our homeschooling.
The homeschooling laws in Washington weren't too terrible.
Not
there
bad.
are definitely states that are way worse, like New York. The weird thing is like New York and like Vermont and Connecticut are like, there's like 3 states over there that are really, really, really bad.
Yeah.
But like New Jersey is green. Like
Right.
Everybody that homeschools just goes to New Jersey.
But then you think, oh, North Carolina, they're going to be great. Well, no, actually, their homeschool laws are
They're
tougher
pretty
than Washington.
Yeah.
And that's where my sister-in-law.
Yeah, my sister is homeschooling her kids there, and stuff they have to go through is pretty crazy.
So, I mean, for Washington, there were certain stipulations for you as the teacher, what you had to accomplish before you were able to be a teacher for your child. Then there were certain subjects that you had to hit, and then you had to let your superintendent of your school district know that you wrote an intent to homeschool, and handed that in, and you had to do that once the child reached the age of 8.
Yep.
And through, you had to do it every year. And what else? Your child had to do yearly testing at 3rd grade, I believe.
Yeah.
For Texas,
Do you want, before we get into that,
Yeah.
Our Wanderlost has kind of answered that question we put out
Okay.
there. They said we have lived overseas twice, and the first time when we moved to Turkey, they gave us 65 days to move. It was crazy chaotic.
65 days to move to
they
Turkey?
said, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So we usually get 4 to 5 months notice, and when they tell us we're moving, and then when they tell us we're moving, then they tell us
where you're going.
where we are going. So,
Crazy.
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Anyways, I wanted to kind of close that one up real quick before we get back. So we'll get back to the requirements for Texas.
So I have Washington like down pat, and
Yeah.
we filed for Washington
The notice of intent.
in like July, and that was our first time because Emma is just now, like, she's 8 now.
Yep.
So now we've switched to Texas, and I'm like, is this it? Is this really it? This is it? That's all I have to do? So your requirements are: 1, teach the required subjects. The required subjects are math, reading, spelling, and grammar, and a course in good citizenship. You don't even have to teach a science. It's not required. Or a music or art appreciation, which Washington had an art appreciation.
There's good citizenship here in Texas.
Good citizenship. I'm like, sweet.
America.
When we go to church, we'll teach
Learn the
them
Pledge of
to...
Allegiance.
We'll teach them to get out there and assist those around. Maybe find some co-op or something that we can work for. Or
Yeah.
gather food for a food bank or something. And there we go. Good citizenship. Teach them how to properly manage their money so they don't end up on the homeless list. And that's good citizenship, right?
Honestly, the one thing I think a lot of schools are not teaching enough now is how to manage money.
Mm-hmm.
Kids are getting out of school without a good proper knowledge of budgeting, of how to handle money, and that's causing a lot of issues.
Oh, let's just get a credit card.
Yeah. I think it's starting to change, and I think that culture is starting to be like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah.
What did we do? Because, certain types of basket weaving studies isn't really helping you survive off of the money you're making. Anyways, my little left turn rant is over.
The second thing that you have to do for homeschooling in Texas is you have to use a written curriculum. That's it. Use a written curriculum, and it says that an online program meets this requirement. It is a written program.
Yeah.
A written curriculum.
So
and
Nursing
then,
Our Travel Bug has found a new... Let me go find the name of it.
a new online
A
curriculum.
new online curriculum that's free.
Nursing Our Travel Bug?
Mm-hmm.
And it's free?
It's free.
Sweet.
Let me...
To get on there and try it.
I will show... I'll read it to you guys when
Let's see. Let's see. If you're contacted by the public school in Texas asking if your child is enrolled, then all you need to do is send them a letter assuring the school that your child is being legally taught at home. So you don't even have to file prior to the school year. You just have to do it if you're contacted. So, I mean, that's different for Washington. And then, I mean, there's certain stipulations if you're pulling your child out of school and starting to homeschool. There's certain things you have to do, but that doesn't apply to us because we haven't enrolled our child.
Look who just showed up.
Nursing our trouble, but
were you guys lurking?
They were lurking.
They were lurking in the background, weren't they?
Garrett's looking for that homeschool curriculum you found online.
Peasy.
Easy Peasy
is the name of the free homeschooling curriculum.
Okay.
And that it was from, I know, it was it was K through 12. It's the full range, and I think they use things like Khan Academy and a few other types of programs that are mixed into like one curriculum.
So X marks the spot says Texas has an online program that is free. Most states do. I know Washington does. I had a friend pull her daughter out of school and start the online program a couple of years ago when we were still there. So yeah, that's always an option if you're not into finding your own curriculum. I actually like to...
Or even spending if you're on a tight budget, using a program like Easy Peasy might be very helpful for you in being able to save you money.
And then supplementing here and there where
I know
you feel
Bill
like
was
it
telling
doesn't
me
work for you.
about how expensive some of the programs they were going.
Yeah, it can get really, really bad. It can get very expensive. And, I mean, like in Washington, they were, I think it was last year, they were working on legislation that would allow homeschoolers, charter schools, private schools, etc., get some of that assistance with curriculum, purchasing curriculum and things. And guess who got cut out of that before it passed? Homeschoolers. Only homeschoolers. All the other charter schools, etc., now have the ability to get state funding to help with purchasing materials.
That's why we felt fine with using the library system to print out paperwork.
Hey, we weren't breaking any rules. You had one library card. You could print 75 pages for free per week. So between him and I and Emma, we had 3 library cards and could print 150 pages?
Yeah.
Is my math wrong? 75 and 75 is 150 plus 75 more is C.
225.
So
maybe
that's
she
why
should retake a course.
I use a calculator at work to make sure I don't misdose
her math could kill somebody.
Yes, my math could kill somebody. So I don't rely on my tired brain anymore. I always calculate with a calculator. But yeah, that's why we got these math books, this e-curriculum. We can store it in a small space on the computer, and then we just print it for each child, and then they can write up and...
Have a good night, Blue Wave. Thank you for joining us.
Bye, Blue Wave.
See you later.
We'll wave to Blue Wave.
Wave to Blue Wave.
Bye, Blue.
You should check what your library's policies are, Nursing Our Travel Bug, because you might be surprised at what you're allowed to do.
Yeah.
Or, even it might be like 2 cents, 5 cents, 10 cents for a page.
Yeah.
Which some of the
At this point, we haven't found any other library systems that have free printing, but it's usually not too bad. And it wasn't too expensive to have those books printed. And you use Office Max?
It was Office Max, and I used, ended up being $94 for both books.
For both books. And they're pretty thick books. So.
And it's printed on both sides. Hi, Rosebud. It's Travels.
Hi, guys. So, I mean, you just have to go with what works for you. We found this really awesome science curriculum that we're using again with Emma, and now for the first time with Timothy. Yeah. And it's all, they just sit down and watch a 2 to 3 minute video. There's a few little science projects. And then we purchased the workbooks from the company because they're really inexpensive. Yeah. They were like $13 each. So, I mean, that's really good, and they're thick. And Emma has a higher level workbook, and Timothy has a lower level. And they can just sit and watch the same video and then work together to answer the questions. It's very self-motivating, and it doesn't take a lot of time.
We'll just have to fix the TV first.
Edison just demolished our TV.
We got a bunch of great toys from X Marks the Spot while we were there with them. And Edison proceeded to take a little toy rifle that we had and go wham! Right into the middle of the TV.
This child is killer to all our things.
He's in his terrible twos, and it is full on terrible twos.
He's not terrible. He's just busy.
Okay. Yes, he's not terrible. He's a fan. He'll say sorry, and he'll say please, and he'll be happy, and it's great. But he'll also go up there and smack you without thinking.
Oh my goodness. I brushed his teeth upside down today. He was on the couch in his favorite position with his heels up above his head on the wall. And it was actually really easy to get his top teeth with him that way, and he just sat there and let me do it.
Yeah.
And last night we were watching a movie together. We watched Mary Poppins Returns on Netflix, and he was half the time upside down with his feet like up around my ears, and I'm like, I'm not really enjoying this movie.
Yeah, but hey, it's comfortable for him. I don't know how, but it is.
He's always upside down. He was upside down in his bed today too during rest time with his feet up.
He calls the roof the ceiling. It was pretty cute.
Let's see. Nursing our travel bag.
They said they're not totally sold yet for Easy Peasy, but
we'll see.
May supplement more math or science.
Yeah. I mean, that's the beauty of homeschooling. You can ditch something that's not working and supplement with things that do work, and change it up halfway through the year, and you can do what you feel like you need to do for the best education for your child. So.
And the best thing I liked about homeschooling was that you didn't have homework because you were home doing your schoolwork. You just got it done.
As soon as you got it done, you were free.
Done. I mean, we'd be done by 9, 10 a.m.
Mm-hmm. Easy Peasy does have workbooks and stuff. $5 a piece, though. Not bad. No, that's not bad at all.
No.
Not bad at all.
I mean, we spent $94 to print out those math workbooks.
It's probably the only time we're going to do it.
Probably.
We'll have to figure something else out. We can also purchase those books in hard copy form instead of e-form, but I figured I have other kids coming up and need to use the books, so I don't want to just buy a paper one and throw it away and not have it anymore.
Yeah.
So it's hard when you have other kids coming up behind. Lots of homeschooling support in Texas too, groups and such. We'll have to look for it.
If you're in any state, there's a really great national legal association that you really should check out if you're homeschooling, called Homeschool Legal Defense Association. My parents were part of that when I was going through school. That was 20 years ago. So, they
were founded in 1983.
Yes.
And I don't know why my mom probably just didn't know about it. For those of you in difficult states, or even not in difficult states for homeschooling, it's safety. It's your safety net.
Yes.
And they also have help for high schoolers and for those who are teaching children with disabilities. They have that kind of help. And just, if you have a run-in with the school district saying, you're not doing this right, your kids should be in school, we're going to call CPS.
They will send lawyers to them, research the law, and be like, no, you're out of line.
Mm-hmm. And they make them uphold the state law in that state.
Yeah.
So
What's amazing with a lot of what HSLDA is doing is helping reform a lot of these school districts that are abusing their powers and choosing to select how they want to enforce the rules. So, they will...
Bye, Wanderlost.
Bye-bye.
Go.
Thanks you for joining.
Thanks for the chat. Have a great nap.
Don't
forget to hit the like button. Love it. Bye, Wanderlost.
Yeah, so, they go to bat for you, and they hold the school districts and the state accountable. When they're abusing their power, they will call them out, and most of the time those school districts and the state will go running behind the rock where they should have been.
What I've seen a lot of, and not just, it was in a couple of different states, with everything going
Thanks
electronic.
for joining, Jurgens. Have a good
Bye,
night.
Jurgens Journey. Sleep well. See you later. HSLDA has been stepping in to different states where they have begun to tell homeschoolers, to do your paperwork at the beginning of the year, your intent to homeschool, you have to do it online now, and you have to answer all these questions. Well, they don't have to do anything. Per the law hadn't changed, requiring them to do everything online. They could still submit in paper, but some of these school districts were saying, no, you can only do it online, and making them give too much information that is not required by the law. And so HSLDA was stepping in and assisting these homeschooling families, making the school districts back off, basically. Hey, these homeschoolers do not need to do this form. And so, I'm sure they're, trying to advance along with the times and the use of technology, but they were, I don't know, they were pushing too hard against and not following the laws. And homeschoolers, we are very careful about how much information we're putting out there about us, because how many times has that backfired we've had,
put out too much information and it just gets used against you.
They use it against you and get CPS involved and take your kids away. That's everybody's worst fear. And so when we're being required to do something different that was not the law.
And if you can get these kind of lawyers to step in, those kind of things back off so fast.
They do. And actually, I was really happy. I'm forgetting which state it was, but it was over on the East Coast. The superintendent was informed first and actually worked with HSLDA, and it never went to court. She actually fixed the problem, and the laws were changed to reflect what needed to happen. And that was really important. HSLDA was like, this is the first time that we've had a state, work with us, because it's always been too far advanced and they had to take the state or the school district to court by the time they got involved. What
I really love about HSLDA is that they have tons of legal representation for people that are members of the group, and it is a paying membership, which we are a part of. However, there is tons of resources on their website that are just open for everybody. There's a map that you can click on the state that you're in, and we'll pull that up kind of and show it to you. But it breaks down the homeschooling laws per state. And we'll kind of put it sideways. So you can kind of see Texas. You can see the little green states. There you go.
Sort of. So it's a map.
And you see those red states? Those are the really terrible ones for homeschooling.
So it's a map of the United States, and you just tap your state. It's all color coordinated, so at a glance you can see what level your state is. Texas is green. Washington is orange, so it's
Oklahoma,
more of a... Oklahoma is green.
Alaska.
Yep. Some of them are yellow, which means they're a little bit easier. And then the red states are the ones that have the strictest homeschool laws. So,
Rosebud Travels says, we did a form of unschooling with our son, and he got his doctorate from Columbia with a free ride. And our daughter got her sign language degree from Lamar.
Sweet.
That is awesome. And
that's totally awesome.
What's amazing to me is, on average, people that are homeschooled, they score so much higher.
It's because we're required to have work ethic and get through our work, right?
Yeah.
Not saying all homeschoolers are like this. Some parents allow their kids to just slide by and not do anything. But
and a lot of parents get the ability to say, this program isn't working for my son or my daughter. Why don't we try this? Oh, look, this one works great, and now they're flourishing. Whereas, a lot of times schools don't have as much flexibility.
RV Nomads 365 wondering if there are materials on Craigslist, someone not doing homeschooling anymore.
That is a good possibility.
My mom would go to I think it was either end of school year or beginning of the school year at the local school, and they would have like a book sale, and she got entire curricula from first grade to sixth grade of math and spelling. This is like years and years ago. So buying the books from the schools, that's an option.
I think we did like some kind of homeschooling co-op similar to what she was saying. But, you know, it was, we're not using this book anymore. You know, it's $5 for this curriculum. And then my mom had very specific math and a few other things that's what she wanted to teach.
Yeah. Also, let's see, we got some different curricula off of, it's the bundle one. What was it? This big sale that was online. That's where I found the math curricula that I really like. I think it's called Build Your Bundle.
Build a bundle?
Something like
Build
that.
a Bear.
And it's like, I think they do a long sale in the summertime just before school starts. And then, I don't know, maybe again around the new year. So there is, like, as you get into homeschooling sites on Facebook and such, you'll find these curricula sales and be able to check out curriculum. Also, Homeschool On, she does a YouTube channel and will actually open up the curriculum and tell you about it, show you the pages, discuss how her kids are using it, and she tests all these curriculum out on her own 5 kids. Her name is Rachel, and I'm trying to remember her, or Rebecca, that's not our name. Homeschool On, look for her on Facebook and on YouTube, and she's been one that it was very helpful to kind of get the books opened and hear somebody else's take on the material and what she does, and before you go out and purchase a huge expensive curriculum.
Rosebud Travel said we like Saxon math.
Saxon math. Hey, I did algebra in the Saxon math.
Yeah, we did it all the way. That's the math book we use. That's the only math book I remember is Saxon. I don't ever remember like doing anything Abeka.
No, my mom didn't use Abeka for math. She used it for like history and reading. Yeah. I'm remembering 1st through 6th grade we used the curriculum that my mom purchased at the sale at the beginning of school year from the school district. The school was like right up the hill from our house. You could see it. And she brought a spelling curriculum and she bought a math curriculum. It was 1st through 6th grade. And I mean, those books are still floating around and they're like falling apart. But my sister used those with her 4.
I think some of the first reader books that we have right now with our kids are some of those books.
Yeah, some of those books that my mom purchased, but they work. You're teaching your child how to read.
Be very nice. That's like older than I am.
Yes. It's really cool because one of those books, my mom, it was the first book she taught each one of us kids to read. And she wrote in the child's name, my sister, me, my brother, and the date and age, or the date that we read it. The first time. Like, this is Carolyn's first book, and then the date. And I looked at it and I was like, Mom, I would have been 8 when I read this book. You seriously didn't teach me to read until I was 8? I was shocked. She's like, I'm sorry, I had a lot going on at that time. I had 5 kids and...
It kind of adds up quickly.
Anyway.
I'm sure that your mom was frazzled a lot of times, especially with that age group.
I'm sure, but I don't remember it. She was super mom. She did everything calmly. It was perfect.
Rosebud Travel says, your kids will be fine.
I know, my kids will be fine. They will be fine. Absolutely.
We're going to learn at their pace.
X marks the spot already signed off, but earlier they asked how our trip to Oklahoma was. Well, minus another failure on the vehicle, it was fun.
Yeah.
We went to Oklahoma overnight last week.
Yes.
Last week. Beginning of last week. To meet up with our close friends, my friend Becca and her son Elisha. Elisha and Emma grew up together. They were babies together.
Yep, year apart.
They watched Emma, Timmy, Eddie. I have watched Elisha. We've done that babysitting trade-off back and forth. They even have our piano. When we had to get rid of my piano, they took it from us. Rosebud Travels. For some reason, I can't see the video. We've still got a good signal. I don't know what's going on. Let us know if it comes back, okay? We're gonna.
It might be something on your end for some reason. Everything here looks good on our end.
Garrett's checking it out.
Pete concurrent. Okay.
Anyway, we drove 2.5 hours, set up, got to hang out with them from lunchtime on to dinner time. Becca took off and got some alone time, and we kept Elisha overnight, so he got to have a sleepover. And then we saw her again in the morning, and then as she's leaving to head, now we're...
Just keep talking.
Now we're... Garrett's working on the computer, and he's distracting me.
Just keep talking.
At 9, she had to head for the airport to get back to Washington. So we were like trying to start our truck at that point, and it was not starting.
Xmark Spot says video is good for us.
Okay, good.
We stream at such a low bit rate, technical speaking, that it, even if some things are off, it should be a pretty smooth stream overall. So, do we want to talk about what happened in Oklahoma?
The morning we were heading to Oklahoma, Garrett couldn't get the truck started.
Yep.
So I got the car over and we jumped him, and it worked.
Started
up.
Started just fine for us.
And we didn't shut it off till we got to Oklahoma, and then he shut it off a couple times and drove to and from stores and stuff.
Did some errands, and it worked just fine.
The next morning, it wouldn't start again, and we couldn't jump it. It was not starting. Finally, what did you do? Oh, we hooked up the battery charger that we have to the truck, and about 20 minutes later, it did start for us.
Yes.
So Garrett took it to O'Reilly's.
Dun,
Auto
dun.
Parts.
Ba-da-da.
Right? Did I sing it right?
O'Reilly's Auto Parts. Dun.
Oh, look, he's going to show me up.
So we went there.
Our batteries.
And our batteries were, both of them, we have two in the diesel.
We didn't know we had two.
Were bad. Both of them were bad.
How did we not know we had two batteries?
It's one of those things that it probably should have been changed at least once in the lifetime of the truck, because it's a 2010. Mm-hmm. However, it did not get changed. I'm pretty sure that it was the original batteries in there. They looked like it was in decent shape, but it wasn't holding the charge anymore. And so they checked the alternator.
Alternator's
good.
The
alternator was fine. There was no issues with charging. But the batteries were bad. So that was $159
2 batteries later.
Per battery times 2.
$300.
So after all said and done, $350.
Guys, we've had so much bad luck when it comes to electrical stuff in the past
But
2
it's
weeks,
all
3
things that
weeks.
Should have been done like 2-3 years ago, but it wasn't. Or, the water pump going out. Who knows how long that was just hanging on its last leg. And so, these are all things that would probably be good now for another 2 years.
RV Nomad's talking about their curriculum there in California. What's upsetting is that in California, when a new curriculum comes out, we had to trash the old one, even if it had only a few changes. But why? Is that a requirement that you use a certain kind of curriculum? Are you using an online program or through the state? Because if you are doing your own thing as a homeschooler, you should be able to use whatever curriculum you want. Yeah. And it's very upsetting for a teacher to have to as a teacher, in the school system, have to throw away materials. I usually kept everything for my grade level. You may find former teacher with those types of things. Yes. And wouldn't that be so cool if it could go to underserved communities somewhere, or
like
even
charter
to
schools
foreign countries that need certain types of books and curriculum? Because there are schools in Africa where they have 1 or 2 books per classroom, and the students have to share. And we are such a rich population, and
there's no need to be throwing away all that stuff.
Take it for granted.
Yeah.
I mean, even when it came to like nursing curriculum or like our drug guidebook, you could use, like, say you have the 2018 drug guidebook and they updated it. You would just get the little extra packet thingy, the little booklet with all the 2019 updates in it, and you wouldn't have to trash your book. Now, when it got like 5 to 10 years down the road, that makes sense with medical stuff. But how math doesn't change, reading doesn't change.
if you're
Spelling
changing
doesn't
to things
change.
like Common Core, but that's a whole nother. Let's not get into.
Basic subjects
Yeah.
don't change. When it comes to things like the medical field or, fields that have advancements, yes, it makes sense to have the latest and greatest.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
whatever.
little side rant there.
All my side ranting.
So everybody, there's a lot of people saying they can still see the video, so we're
Maybe drop out and come back in. Maybe that will help.
good. It's possible.
Rosebuds Travels, you're in Houston?
Nice. Houston is southeast.
Houston is probably really hot and humid.
Yep.
We're very grateful to be as far north as we can in Amarillo, where it's flat and
It's
windy.
flat and it's very, very.
So the wind kind
The
of keeps.
elevation is nice because it makes everything cool.
It does. When we dropped down into Oklahoma, it got really bad really fast.
Yeah. Woo! We
It was
were reminded exactly how humid it was down there. We're like, we were actually like used to it. When we went down there the first time, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, it's kind of hot here, but it's not that
Yeah.
bad. And then we came up here for a bit and went back down. We're like,
Yeah, we're such wimps when it comes to the humidity and.
but
the
how many
heat.
years? I mean, we spent most of our lives in the Northwest.
Right.
I mean, I traveled a lot, but it's still primarily
Yeah.
in the Northwest.
Yeah. Well, you guys, it's been a fun chat. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like lots and lots.
It's lots.
We do want to tell you what we're doing tomorrow, and Blue Wave isn't on anymore. This is a shout out to Blue Wave because they actually visited this location recently and left their mark. And so I'm going to look for it, but it's probably all covered up. But they did their Blue Wave on one of the Cadillacs at Cadillac Ranch. So we're going to go out and do that tomorrow. We're going to
Yes.
do a vlog style video.
Yeah.
So that should come out in the next couple of weeks. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm super excited.
The kids are probably gonna be like, "What are these? Why is this here?"
We're going to
don't
call it
get
art
it."
appreciation. And it's a touristy thing we have to do before we leave Amarillo so we can say
We have to say
we did it.
we've done the Big Texan, we've done the Texas the Musical,
Mm-hmm.
and
We've gone to Lake Meredith. We're
Lake
going to go
Meredith.
to
we're gonna explore Paladuro.
Canyon.
Yep.
Those are two big things out here.
And then really and truly, it's that.
It's just
And
that.
I mean, there's a couple of little museums here and there that would be
Yes.
cool to go to.
There are actually a lot of museums that we haven't had a chance to go and visit.
There's some amazing history. I mean, Shreveport had tons of rich history,
Lots of
and
history.
Amarillo just about the same. And-
Every location I think that we go to, we're going to find this. Lots of history.
Yep.
So we're going to get into our shout outs. It might take us a while. You guys, we get to welcome 66 new DFAMers into our community.
66.
I mean, and some of you were on the live chat tonight, so thank you so much for joining us. We're super excited about this community that we're building. Let's see, RV Nomads 365. We try to see if we could ship them to another school program or country. The state wouldn't allow it. Are you kidding me? California. I was a teacher for the state of California. That just drive. Oh.
Get some sleep, Richard and Hope. We look forward to seeing you guys soon.
Good night. Sleep well. Night X.
Night,
All right. So we're at 664 subscribers, 336 more to go to our 1,000, the big 1000.
We're getting close. I mean, we're
Very
starting
close.
to see some decent momentum. If you're new and you haven't checked out our RV Rescue 911 video, check that out.
That was out
That was-
last Wednesday.
Really and truly, they say most things happen in threes. And I mean, with the electrical issues, the fire, and breaking down, technically it was kind of three and a half with Oklahoma. It was very much a trifecta.
And then Oklahoma was just like a little bump continuation after
It really
that.
didn't throw our schedule off too much
No,
because
not bad.
Carolyn was working on cleaning the trailer up while I got the batteries fixed.
Yeah, so
No big-
Oklahoma, we weren't too bad getting back on the road.
And there was a big storm that came through while we were
But
there. But
he was really like irritated and anxious, and I said, "Dear, it's probably just we probably just need a new battery."
And the nice thing was because we're limping along with our bad converter, we had a battery charger, so we just charged that thing
Garrett,
up.
we have a battery charger. Just hook that up, and let's get it revving, and let's see what we can do.
Yeah.
Well, while we were in Oklahoma, we stopped and saw Route 66 Museum.
One of probably
Awesome.
100 museums, but it was the Oklahoma Route 66 Museum.
It was awesome.
It was great.
It was totally worth the $4 to get in.
Yeah.
Per person.
It was like $12
I wish we
for
had
our
been able to
family.
leave a few children.
Yeah.
I didn't really learn a whole bunch.
All they really
except-
need is a children's play area.
They do.
That they could just be like, okay,
Yes.
you can leave your kids here for an hour.
So that footage is to come on the Friday video.
Yep, Friday.
So hang out for that. Stay tuned for that. Anyway, back to our shout outs. Here we go. I should rattle these off as fast as I can. Shout out to our new DFAMers, Brandy Morris, Teachers on Adventures. Lisa Spitzer was our 600th. She's a friend of mine. Thank you so much, Lisa, for joining us. Allie Ellsworth is also a friend of ours. Matthew Gauthier. I probably butchered your name. I'm so sorry. Gaither. BB's Fantastic Adventures. Mike Hogan, Brian Whitaker, Morris Patch of Heaven Homestead. They have a cool homeschool YouTube channel.
Nice.
Doug Coleman, Grass Fed Homestead, Tony Miao Motivado, Nali Zupani. Actually, I don't know how she pronounces her first name. Nail.
I think she's
You were
from another
chatting with
country.
her back and forth.
Yeah, she's from Australia.
She's from Australia.
Yep.
She's got a cool channel as well. Digging with Deej. Deej? D-E-E-J.
Yep.
Deej. They have it's like a, where they go out with
metal detector.
Metal detecting, bottle cap.
Treasure hunting.
Treasure hunting, also looking for artifacts. So that's a really cool channel as well. RV Tips and Trips. He's got a great channel as well. Fishing with Grizzly Whiskers. He has a funny channel.
That's an awesome name, though.
Fishing with Grizzly Whiskers. And he's got
got the full on. Yeah.
Felicia Clark, Justin and Christina's RV Van Life. Shout out to your channel as well. Picking up the pieces. Oh,
they are doing a build right now.
Justin and Christina?
Justin and Christina have not hit the road quite yet, but they're renovating a van.
Nice.
To hit the road full time. So they're very, very close. They just put in an AC unit, and I mean they got a kitchen. I think I saw them put a bathroom in, and composting stuff. So if you want to see people get about ready to hit the road,
and they live in Canada, right? Because she speaks both.
I believe so.
It's French, right?
I think so.
French and she'll do a video in English and then she'll repeat it. She does exercise videos and such. So one in French and one in English.
Yeah, fun stuff on their
RV
channel.
Nomads 365. Have you been to the Jack Sizemore RV Museum in Amarillo?
That's the one we went to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
I'll probably put together a video of just what we saw there.
Mm-hmm. And we'll have a chat about.
My favorite one is going on the Gornicky bus.
He loves that movie. What's it? RV with
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams.
It is the funny. I mean, it's funny. It's really total slapstick of the RV community. But what's funny is a lot of it. It's
so true.
It's so true.
It's so true.
It's.
All right, back to our shout outs because I'm only halfway through this list. Seriously, guys. Hold on, we're almost there. Picking Up the Pieces, Carpe Diem RV Style.
Nice.
Walterman Homestead, It's a Stakesy Thing. Let me say that again. It's a Stakesy Thing. My Backyard Science, Miles from Sahara, Jim Deuce, Eddie T, Amesi Robert, Johnny's Tiny Creekside Cottage, exclamation points.
Nice.
Living the Silver Life. They've got a great channel. And Ron Grimes, or Grims, however he says that. Oh my goodness, you guys, that is the longest list I have had to read off ever. I am super excited for everyone who's joined.
I mean, there's some fantastic channels.
Some fantastic channels in there that we're excited because this is new. Like, we were supposed to interview somebody today and it didn't happen. But these are new channels now that we can communicate with and possibly get on our show and share with you guys. So, hey, if you guys are one of those, please contact us.
And you want to come tell us our story.
Come tell us your story. We can set it up and do it on our live stream, or we can pre-record it and then do it on the live stream.
Yeah.
That way, hit us up at rvdiaryofafamily at gmail.com.
Yep. You can also, in Facebook and Instagram, at Diary of a Family, you can message us there.
Yes.
So, send us a direct message there, and that's another quick way to get a hold of us as well.
We would love to get to know you and your story, what you're doing with your life. If you've been full-time, are full-time, working on going full-time, not sure you want to go full-time, whatever. We are interested in your story.
Weekend warrior.
Yes.
Have been. Yeah.
Yep. We would love to get to know you, and so tell us your story.
Yeah.
Hit us up.
Yes.
That's it. That's all I have.
We have new things coming soon, so stay tuned for that. We're not going to go into too much details. Just going to leave the little carrot hanging out there for you.
So this is going to be a project all of Garrett's doing. New content, awesome content.
Yep.
He's kind of been spurred to do this by one of our mentors from Live and Light RV. Kent Peterson has said, hey, I really think you should do this. Start thinking about it, praying about it.
Yeah.
And we've done some thinking and praying, and Garrett is in the process now of moving forward. Yep.
So stay tuned for that. In the next couple weeks, probably closer to the end of September, we will probably do an official launch of this new endeavor, and we'll keep you guys informed coming up. So
yes,
stay tuned for much more excitement to come.
All right, you guys. We want to just thank you all for joining us every single Sunday night.
Fantastic evening.
It's been awesome to get to know all of you. We just want to say I hope that your school year is great. Your fall plans are awesome. Whatever it is that you're planning to do. And we're here for you. And just remember to live life intentionally. Bye, guys.